Greetings all excellencies. A beautiful day in World Peace Summit. A beautiful day and a sensational day. Yesterday the topic was a bit different, thinking about the life below water. But today it looks normal, but it's a sensational because there is a question about our survival when we are talking about life on land. So for that we have galaxy of star speakers, eminent speakers, visionaries. Many are here today from Switzerland, from India, from Africa, from many countries. Excellent visionaries are joining with us in a few minutes. Gayatri ma'am, will you please mute your audio? So a beautiful day. A 15th day in World Peace Summit. It's really amazing to welcome. So I welcome World Peace Summit 15th day, Sustainable Development Goal 15. I welcome you all onto a beautiful day, beautiful sessions, a galaxy of star speakers. Today we have a special speaker, chief guest, Piyush Pandit ji, who is taking education in a different mode. Because with the IIU, there are a lot more changes in Indian education stream, because International Internship University, the title itself is different, because educating through online mode. Actually, before 2020, it looks very different, but after 2020, this education was normalized, because nearly 1 year students adapted to that system, and it has become part of our education system. So our IIU, Piyush Pandit ji, have given even a representation to Government of India to make it part of UGC. So that's a welcome gesture. Really, if we speak of our guests, everyone has their own unique style. Because if you talk about Ruby Bakshi Kurji ji, who is the chief guest, other chief guest, really she's fabulous speaker, first of all. But if you see her credentials, these programs takes place. So if we talk about our keynote speaker, her title itself is Happy Harmony. I love the title very much. So whenever I invite ma'am, only for the sake of title, because whatever the title it is, she justifies it. Not only having the title, but she justifies. So such a way, we have beautiful speakers, and even our chief guest, Vincent Nick from Malaysia has joined. So with these beautiful galaxy of star speakers, we are going to welcome this beautiful day with the introductory remarks of our Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council Managing Director, Professor Dr. Vijay Kalil ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, brother. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the eminent global speakers, global leaders, chief guest, guest of honor, keynote speakers, and honorable speakers globally. I'm Dr. Carolyn, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Chairman, the Life Foundation, Counseling Psychologist. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council mainly focus on world peace. As you are observing that we are conducting World Peace Summit in the year 2022, and now we are conducting this year 2023. May 1st to 18. So we have done successfully. We have addressed some problems of sustainable development goals at our level. Now we are focusing again on world peace and sustainable development goals, and we want to accomplish the goals at our level. So we have conducted various physical programs and virtual programs addressing the problems, issues of the community, as we believe peace should be within the individual. So as peace starts within, we want to see that every individual lead a peaceful life. And we are trying our best level to make the community which is around us to be a peaceful and also to lead a prosperous, happiest life. We are striving hard, and we are conducting various programs to bring awareness the importance of life as God bestowed all the resources to human being to have a prosperous life, to live and let others live. That is a motto. So we need to understand the importance of every living organisms on this globe. So that's what we are making. And we have seen that whatever we set on the virtual platform to be accomplished physically. We have two organizations under Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. One is Telangana Kala Parishad, the other one is Life Foundation. Telangana Kala Parishad mainly focus on farmers and migrant workers, as well the cultural diversity. As India is rich with different cultures, we notice cultural variations in India, but we notice that all the people or the community of different states with different cultures live harmoniously. To showcase the diversity of cultures in India, conducted various physical programs and the cultural activities to make community, society, nation, globe to understand the richness of cultural diversity in unity. So we all live together in great unity, what it is called as Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. As we believe in that, we are making all the human beings of our nation to be united, and we are trying our best level to show the solidarity. And when farmers are in a pathetic situation during COVID time, as well, it is continuous process that's suffering a lot as they need to meet the demands of the growing population, as India is rich with the population density. So they are finding a great problem. At that time, Telangana Kala Parishad shown solidarity and supported the farmers, taken the burning problems, issues of the farmers to the government notice. The government responded immediately, positively, and supported the farmers. As well, the migrant workers during COVID time, they faced a lot of problem, and these that we all know that migrant workers of India come from different rural parts of India, and they come to urban areas for their livelihood. At that time, during COVID time, there is no transportation, and they faced a lot of problem to move to their native places. Then the Telangana Kala Parishad taken the issues, the problems of the migrant workers to the government of India, and immediately the India government responded positively. So the activities which has been taken by the Vishwa Humanity is observed by the government of India, visited the office which is located in Hyderabad, observed all the programs, activities, and they are shown a great interest in the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. And we are confident that very soon we are going to have good projects which can accomplish the sustainable development goals for the betterment of the society. We are looking ahead for the good understanding between the international organizations to have MOU on good projects for flourishment of the underprivileged community. So we are looking ahead for the good international organizations who are keenly interested in Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. The other organization is the Life Foundation, which is led by me. Mainly the Life Foundation focus on underprivileged community. We have adopted 55 acres of slum, and we have seen that the slum community has good life. And we supported them at our level, providing provisions, commodities, blankets, saris, and to the small young children, books, stationery. So during that time, during my visits to the slums, I noticed 2 rape cases, especially the girls of 6 and 8 were brutally raped and murdered. That has touched our heart, and we noticed why these circumstances occurred in slum. At that time, we noticed that slum is filthy and is with filthy environment, and the people, especially the male, were addicted to the drugs and alcoholic. And in that conditions, they lost their intelligence, their morals, ethics, values, and they raped and killed brutally the young girls. Then we felt that education is only the solution for such problems, and to be taken certain awareness programs. And we conducted various physical awareness programs in the slums and made grandparents, mothers to understand the situation of the slums and how to protect themselves. So we taught the girls and boys to know the good touch and the bad touch, as well, how to understand the people around them who are addicted to the bad habits and they fall in prey to their sexual addictions. So there is a lot of domestic violence, sexual harassment in the slums. So we have taken up many awareness programs as I am the counseling psychologist. So now we are seeing a peaceful environment in the slums. Till now, past 2 years, we didn't notice single rape case or any violence or harassment in the slums. So we were much satisfied that the peace starts within the individual. So we are able to accomplish that what we said on the virtual platform, that we are able to have peace in the minds of the slum community. So we have started our educational centers with 30 students. Now it has been expanded to 150 and more. Now, yesterday only I received the photographs and I have to move to slum. 4th educational center also constructed and the students are joining by this June. So admissions are going on. We are in that process. So in this way, we want to expand educational centers to various slums and to impart good education, quality education, as we believe education can bring all-round development. So that education, along with the education, we are also teaching up certain physical exercises to be physically strong and taking up awareness programs for their mental well-being and emotional well-being. So in this way, we are conducting various programs for these slum children, as well the children of these servant maids. So at our level, the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council performing the programs, activities to empower the girls and boys in the underprivileged community, among the underprivileged community. And also, we have seen that women are in a very pathetic situation because of the financial lackness. And we have set up the tailoring center, and we have seen that women being trained in tailoring and they started their own tailoring centers, supporting the family financially. So what we said on virtual platform the last year, that we are able to accomplish physically, and we are empowering the underprivileged community as well, the people who are below poverty line, poverty-stricken environment. So we want to develop good infrastructure for the underprivileged. So we are looking ahead for good MOUs from the international organizations. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Namaste from India.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful and wonderful, inspiring introduction. Actually, before this meeting, nearly 2 hours, we had a meeting with international community for possible collaboration in coming days. So such a way, we are going forward, thinking that we can do something good to the society. Hope everything going to be better in coming days regarding our work. So anyway, Excellencies, a beautiful day. Coming to our greatness, you know who is the person that chairing today? That is the grace of Royal Council that we have brought all the way from UK. The best-selling author, great international motivational speaker. If you know her, what is her background, you won't believe it. Such a great person, visionary, who is close to our hearts, like our family member. She is going to chair our event. So, because she always firmly believes that it's a family, because it's the journey from 2020 still going. And she early in the morning sent a message saying that some coincidence is there regarding this program. Because last year, same day, same time, she did the same work. So over to you, Our Excellency, Dr. Amy Alan Rajashmi, ma'am. Over to you to grace the event.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajarao. Yes, it's been a great pleasure to be part of Royal Council. Thank you so much. It's been such a long time. Yes, we've been together. It's a blessing. Thank you so much, everyone out there. Yes, it's been a long journey that I have been with Dr. Raja Rao and my beautiful sister from India, Dr. VJE Caroline, ma'am. Namaste. Namaste to everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Dr. Amy Allen here from the United Kingdom. So today we are all gathered to celebrate our conference here for World Peace Summit 2023. Isn't it so amazing? Peace begins with a smile. It was actually quoted by, I think you got it right. Yes, Mother Teresa. And here it is so true that look at all the faces today. We are all having a smile on our face. Isn't that so? You can see all the faces, even on our screen, behind the screen. You see there's so much of smile on our face. It actually clearly shows that peace begins with us, within us. Peace is within us. And here we are all here gathered in World Peace Summit 2023. My highest gratitude to Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council for the invitation for the chairperson today as on the 15th of May 2023 to our World Peace Summit 2023 for the Team Peace and SDG Goal 15 live on land. Wow, this is actually a remarkable date, like what Dr. Raja Rao actually said. This is the same date, 15th of May 2022. We were celebrating the World Peace Summit 22, and I was actually one of the speakers as well. It's a great pleasure. It's the same date, I'm back again. It's been a long journey, and I can see there's so much of effort that's been put behind this conference by Dr. Raja Rao and Dr. Caroline, ma'am. Thank you so much. May you be blessed to have lots of success in everything that you do. And also my highest respect to our honorable union ministers, honorable governors, honorable chief ministers, and all our international visionaries, and as well as all our guests for today, not forgetting our viewers who are viewing us live on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, all our TV channels. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Today we are all here gathered for the team called Live on Land. This is the goal 15. And why is it so important? Goal 15 basically focuses specifically on managing the forest, sustainability, halting and reversing the land and natural habitat, degradation, successfully combating desertification and stopping biodiversity loss. Sorry about that. What is the aim of Life on Land? To sustainably manage forests, combat diversification, halt and reverse land degradation, halt and biodiversity loss. Without biodiversity, we wouldn't have the food we eat today, and yet it is disappearing right in front of our eyes. The air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the food we all rely on, biodiversity. Okay, now what is biodiversity exactly? Biodiversity, we often call it as nature. I always tell myself that I love Mother Nature. Now we tend to think of nature as forests, oceans, rivers, mountains, and these are my favorite places. If you see forest, I think you can see me. If you see river, I think you can see me there. So, but actually it's more than that. It's more than what we think. Nature is incredibly a variety of all the lives on earth. It's plants and animals. Just like the oak tree, the microorganisms in the oils, in the soils, in the fish, in the rivers, in the oceans. All these species and the spaces they call home is made up to the biodiversity. Losing healthy habitats means losing access to clean air, water, fertile soil, and many other natural sources essential to our survival, livelihood, and well-being. It is also losing our great allies against the climate crisis. Forest, ocean, grassland, and wetland absorbs greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, while mangrove and coral reefs act as the natural defense against the floods and hurricanes. When we lose any species, it can split disasters for the countless others. Now, let me give you an example, yeah? So if let's say a tiny yet mighty bee and other insects plays a giant role in creating a healthy ecosystem. If we lose an insect, we don't only lose our pollinators, we also lose the birds that feed on them and keep the pests at harm and crops and habitats under control. But this dominant effect doesn't end on the land. Life in water is also affected, like the birds that fertilizes the coral reefs and other marine ecosystem through their nutrients by their droppings. Ecosystem that nourishes the fish that over 3 billion people rely on for the food, an essential source of protein. Now, this is just the fact that we are talking about. We are actually, the truth is that we are losing biodiversity at an alarming and unprecedented rate. 500,000 of insect species are threatened for extinction. The average population size of wildlife has dropped by 68% since 1970. We have already destroyed half the world. Corals and loose forest areas of 27 football field size every single minute. This is just not a sad statistics. These are sirens for urgent actions for communities, for the businesses, for governments, world leaders, and each and every one of us to transform our broken relationship with the nature. We are and always will be part of the equation. And on top of that, today, it's a great blessing that we are part of the World Peace Summit 2023, as we are all blessed to be part of a solution. Kind thanks to Dr. Raja Rao, Dr. Vijay, Caroline ma'am, on all those who are present. Thank you. Signing off, Dr. Amy Ellen here from the United Kingdom. Namaste.
So please invite our first speaker, Excellency. Let's start with our first speaker. Let me invite our first speaker. He is a sensation in international education. Our beloved leader, maybe future politician, the great Piyush Pandit ji, founder of IIU. Over to you, dear brother.
थैंक यू राजा सर। अभी पॉलिटिशियन बिल्कुल बनने का इरादा नहीं है, सोशल एक्टिविटी में ही बहुत ज्यादा खुश हूँ। सबसे पहले मैं आपको शुभकामनाएं दूंगा कि लगातार जितने साल से मेरा आगमन हुआ है, शायद उससे कई सालों से आप वर्चुअल सेगमेंट में हैं, तो सेंसेशन सबसे पहले मैं आपको बोलूंगा कि इस फील्ड में स्पेशली पीस एजुकेशन समिट या फिर आपकी जो आज का शो है SDG के ऊपर जो समिट है, मैं इसके लिए ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं दूंगा। और इंटायर वर्ल्ड में जितने भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैं, जनरली अगर मैं कभी भी किसी को फॉलो करने की कोशिश करता हूं या सीखने का प्रयास करता हूं, तो सबसे पहले वो आपकी संस्था है, जिसके माध्यम से शायद मुझे भी कुछ सीखने का मिलता है। और सबसे पहले आज का जो विषय है SDG 15, भूमि पर जीवन पर चर्चा करने के लिए, और आज जो विचार विमर्श करने के लिए इस मंच पर हम लोगों को आमंत्रित किया है, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। SDG 15 स्थलीय पारिस्थितिक तंत्र के सतत उपयोग, वनों की कटाई को रोकने, मरुस्थलीय और भूमि क्षरण को रोकने, जैव विविधता के नुकसान को रोकने, बहाल करने का बढ़ावा देने के लिए हमारे स्थान और कार्रवाई की मांग करता है। यह हमारे अपने अस्तित्व और आने वाली पीढ़ियों की भलाई के लिए मानवता और प्रकृति के बीच नाजुक संतुलन को बनाए रखने के लिए मूलभूत महत्व को पहचानता है। हम खुद को मानव इतिहास के एक महत्वपूर्ण मोड़ पर पाते हैं, जहां अनगिनत प्रजातियों और पारिस्थितिक तंत्र का अस्तित्व दांव पर है। जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव, अस्थिर भूमि प्रथाओं, वनों की कटाई और आवास विनाश में हमें खतरनाक स्थिति में पहुंचा दिया है। हमारे जंगल सिकुड़ कर रह गए हैं, हमारी मिट्टी का क्षरण हो रहा है, हमारे जैव विविधता खतरनाक दर से घट रही है। SDG 15 की उपेक्षा के परिणाम दूरगामी और विनाशकारी हैं। स्वस्थ पारिस्थितिक तंत्र के बिना हम स्वच्छ हवा, स्वच्छ पानी, उपजाऊ मिट्टी जैसे मूल्यवान संसाधनों को खोने को जोखिम उठाते हुए दिख रहे हैं। हम खाद्य सुरक्षा को खतरे में डालते हैं, क्योंकि कृषि, स्वस्थ मिट्टी और पारगणों पर निर्भर करती है। हम उन लाखों लोगों को आजीविका में समझौता करते हैं जो अपने अस्तित्व के लिए वनों और पारिस्थितिक तंत्र पर निर्भर हैं। इसके अलावा जैव विविधता के नुकसान से जीवन के नाजुक ताने बाने का खतरा है जो हम सभी को जीवित रखता है। हालांकि इन चुनौतियों के बीच एक उम्मीद भी है, वैश्विक समुदाय का एक साथ आना। Just like today we are gathered to discuss about SDG 15, not only from India. If we talk about Amy Ellen is from UK, I think, and Ruby Vaxi ma'am, already we are connected through the IIU as well, and Queen ma'am, Millie Das, Kolkata, and I want to check the name of all person. राजवीर सर हमारे साथ हैं, सिंथिया विनेश हैं, गीता मैम हैं, गायत्री राज मैम हैं, श्रीकांत सर हैं, विसंते हैं। मीन्स नाम लेने का जो एक पल्लवी पशुथा मैम जी भी हमारे साथ हैं, काफी प्रोग्राम में आप शायद हमारे यहाँ भी रही हैं। तो एक जो डिस्कशन है, एक यूनाइट होकर व्हेन वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द SDG 15, नॉट ओनली SDG 15, ऑल 17 गोल्स वी विल डिस्कस accordingly to situation of your own country. Like इंडिया में SDGs का जो प्रमोशन है या फिर ये बहुत पुराना नहीं है, अभी नए नए हम लोगों ने SDG का प्रमोशन करना शुरू किया है। नाउ आवर गवर्नमेंट इज अडॉप्टिंग टू क्रिएट रिपोर्ट्स permanently to each and all subjects, each and all department as well, and all ministries following the SDG concept. But if you are talking about the SDG 15, जीवन की बात जब हम करते हैं कि अर्थ पर हमारा जीवन कैसा है, then it is very important to go to the rural area where nobody knows that what is the SDG 15. So we have to unite in one platform and one focus that we have to educate person to rural area as well what is SDGs, you know. और इसके लिए राजा राव सर को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि आप प्रयास कर रहे हैं। नादा जी हैं हमारे यहाँ पे, नादा जी ने SDG के कई प्रोग्राम्स हमारे IIU के थ्रू चलाया हुआ है, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट ऑल्सो। इसके अलावा बहुत सारे डिस्कशन हैं, लेकिन अब यहाँ पे जैसा मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत अच्छे से अच्छे लोग हैं जो डिस्कस आज करेंगे इस विषय पर, लेकिन हमारा जो है कि शिक्षा और जागरूकता की जो सफलता की कुंजी है, हमें व्यक्तियों, समुदायों और आने वाली पीढ़ियों को जैव विविधता के महत्व, हमारे पारिस्थितिक तंत्र के मूल्य और उनकी रक्षा करने, उन्हें बहाल करने की आवश्यकता के बारे में शिक्षित करने की आवश्यकता है। अपने युवाओं में जिम्मेदारी और नेतृत्व की भावना पैदा करके हम अपने ग्रह यानी अपनी पृथ्वी को दीर्घकालिक स्थिरता सुनिश्चित कर सकते हैं। आप सभी लोगों से मैं निवेदन करूंगा कि SDG 15 का जो मार्ग है वो कठिन लग सकता है, लेकिन ये दुर्गम नहीं है, ये बहुत आसानी से हम वी कैन अचीव द गोल ऑफ SDG 15। इसके लिए सामूहिक कार्रवाई, सहयोग और सभी के लिए एक स्थायी भविष्य हासिल करने के लिए एक अटूट प्रतिबद्धता की आवश्यकता है। आज हम जो निर्णय लेते हैं वे कल की दुनिया को आकार देते हैं। फिर से इस लाइन को एक बार सुने, आज जो हम डिसीजन लेते हैं इट इज ओनली द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द फ्यूचर। आइए हम संसाधनों को जुटाने, नवाचार को बढ़ावा देने और साझेदारी को बढ़ावा देने के लिए इस अवसर का लाभ उठाएं, जो एक हरियाली, अधिक लचीली ग्रह और मार्ग प्रशस्त करेगा। साथ मिलकर हम यह सुनिश्चित कर सकते हैं कि आने वाली पीढ़ियों जीवन से भरपूर दुनिया को विरासत मिले। तो मैं चाहूंगा कि राजा राव सर इंडिया से लीड करें SDG के बारे में, और मैं उनको फॉलो करते हुए जहां तक हो सकता है, जितना बेहतर हो सकता है, वी विल अचीव SDG 17, 1 to 17 with the all our international advocates of SDG. Thank you so much for inviting me as a chief guest in your programs, and definitely we will discuss some reasonable things where we can put the all information to the United Nations that how we are promoting SDG goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you so much. That is really wonderful. Actually, I said politician. It's not politician. Actually, it's a leader. So wherever you are, you become a leader, because that's for sure.
Background sir, college या स्कूल में जो है youth leadership का हमेशा रहा है, and we are today itself we are working on youth leadership, because लाइफ में कुछ भी अचीवमेंट्स लेना हो तो सबसे पहले आपको लीडरशिप सीखना होगा। लीडरशिप इट इज नॉट मीन्स दैट यू हैव लॉट ऑफ फॉलोअर्स। लीडरशिप मीन्स दैट हाउ IIU is impacting others organization. If you will see all the projects of IIU, maximum people is doing the same things, that is called out leadership. It's very simple things, that if you are doing something good and people is adopting this, that means this is called out leadership in case of my politics. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, dear brother. Whatever you are intending, certainly it happens. You have blessings of Lord God. Go ahead, brother, because nation needs your services. When you are doing service in education, that is very essential. Because we may not feed everyone every day, but if we are able to give them education, that feeds everyone, because that is the sustainability. So you are doing that job, empowering people. That's so great. And in future, I hope that whatever you are doing, even UGC also permits that. I hope so. Then beautiful days will come, brother. We'll collaborate and we do further more things. I request the Professor Dr. Vijay Kallam to have few words on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. So delighted to hear your words. Yeah, you have eminent leaders with you. I'm observing all the eminent speakers and leaders who joined IIU. I'm confident UGC will accept, and you will be having a great platform where you educate the younger generation. So imparting education is a noble profession. So that's what you're doing on IIU, through IIU, and I'm very much happy, sir. Thank you. Thank you. One second.
Okay. Next, we have an eminent personality. Not just an eminent personality. You know, the greatest thing in the world is Swiss Bank. So whenever Ruby ma'am joins our platform, we feel that Swiss Bank is coming to us. So Ruby ma'am, please keep in your mind, we have a great expectations on you. Nation needs your service. Of course, already you are doing wonderful job because you are commendable at your services during the days of COVID. We have seen a lot. So, but still, there is a lot you can do, you will do. So we invite Her Excellency with a small introduction. I'm really sorry, there is some gap today in communication. So that's why this is all happening. I invite Dr. Ruby Bakshi Kurdi ma'am, TEDx speaker, author, educationist, entrepreneur, emotional, intellectual expert, and counselor. She is from Switzerland. Having her excellence presence on this special day, we are honored and humbled. Really, her presence makes something special. It adds to the Sustainable Development Goal 15. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Raja Rao, for such a wonderful introduction. I'm really floored. And it's really, when people like us connect, when all the people that I'm seeing, as Dr. Remy just mentioned, everyone is smiling. It's great to be here, sharing the platform with such excellencies, I would say, dignitaries from all over the world. I'm humbled to be here. And of course, I recall when I first came with you on this platform with Vishwa Humanity Royal Council, I felt that it is something royal. Coming from India, I didn't think twice. I said, okay, I need to connect because it makes me feel that I'm doing something for humanity. And when you connect it with the word World Peace Summit 2023, it adds more because you feel that, yes, it is something that we are doing for the betterment of the country. And of course, when you do something for the betterment, when you do something for the betterment of people, automatically you feel the connection. It doesn't need to have a language, whether we speak in Hindi, English, French, German, whatever language from whatever part of the world, we feel connected. And of course, when brother Dr. Raja Rao and Caroline ma'am, they invited me and they connected with me, I felt as if I know them, even though we haven't met, but the connection was felt. And that's what SDG is doing, during COVID, when everyone was in a hopeless state, when world was combating with pandemic. The virtual platform started, and all these things which were being done in the past, just from professional point of view, became also personal point of view, because a lot of people were going through bad phase. You couldn't meet people, you couldn't touch people, you couldn't have the human connection. And the virtual connection kind of became like a human connection. And I think it was during that time I felt really close and connected with people all over the world, because initially, as Dr. Raja Rao said, I was just doing things in Switzerland. But with the pandemic, the gates opened and everyone felt connected more globally. So it's amazing how we are talking about SDG, how we are talking about peace, how we are talking about connections. इसमें कोई language नहीं जरूरत है, इसमें कोई sentiments नहीं जरूरत है, आपको एक plastic face नहीं रखना है. The smile just comes flawlessly. It just comes naturally because you feel you are all connected together to do something for the betterment of the world. And here, when we are talking about the world connection, when we're talking about summit, automatically aapko lagta hai ki you're doing something which is very, very important, not just for one or two people, but for global world. So when we talk so much about SDG, let me first tell you a little bit about what SDG completely means and how it can be understood by the people. So SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals, and they are also now termed as global goals by United Nations. They're a universal call to action against poverty, protection of the planet, and to ensure that people have peace and prosperity. When we talk about peace and prosperity, it's again very important. Peace and prosperity will come when you have education. You need to educate the world. You need to educate the masses. And when I say education, I have said that so many times in the past, it's not just with degrees. It's not just with the academic education that I'm talking about the occupational education. I'm talking about the human education, which connects man to man, woman to woman, children to children. हम इस दुनिया में क्यों आए हैं, हम इस दुनिया में क्या कर रहे हैं, और हमें क्या करना है. That is very important that we need to specify that loud and clear. These goals were inspired by the success of the Millennium Development Goals, which are also termed as MDGs. Just as we talk a lot about SDGs, we also talk about now MDGs, including new issues such as global climate change, economic inequality, innovation, sustainable consumption, peace, and justice, among other priorities. It's true, अगर हमारे पास एक चीज होती है, हम दूसरे की चीज देखते हैं, हमें वो चीज अच्छी लगती है. हम तीसरे की चीज देखते हैं, हमें वो अच्छी लगती है. And our needs become multiplied, they become wants, and wants become demands. So during this time with MDGs, emphasis is also on how you can be sustainable, not just in spending, but also in consumption. We are becoming more and more responsible purchasers. So the goals are interconnected. The success of an SDG involves answering these issues that are associated with other goals. How can we be more meaningful? How can we be more sustainable? And what can we do to be sustainable? These goals are global in nature. We all know that's why we are all connected and universally applicable. What I'm doing here in Switzerland, as Piyush just mentioned, we can have a lot of other things which are happening in India. Somehow it can be connected and it can be applied in India, or it can be applied in Africa, or it can be applied in any part of the world wherever people are working together, because these goals are connected and we do have these leaders who can do something for the betterment of other people. This May, I'm very happy to say that SDG 8, that is decent work and economic growth, and SDG 15, what we are talking today, were chosen as the month goals. So speaking on 15th May, talking about SDG 15 is like a double connection. I think people who believe in numerology, people coming from India, they believe in numerology a lot. And we can see that there is double 15, and they are around almost little bit double of the amount of number that we are talking today in the room, as well as different social media. So when there are too many double effects, when there are too many numbers connecting together, automatically it moves towards becoming more and more meaningful. So now we talk about SDG 15, which calls for the conservation, restoration, and sustainable use of ecosystems with the aim of halting deforestation. Of course, it's important that we have to have forests because it gives a lot of greenery, it gives a lot of, you feel fresh when you go into these places. But at the same time, you need to restore degrading of these forests, because if you're not taking care of the forests, it becomes like a jungle. When you say the word jungle, it automatically means there's everything everywhere, and it needs to be systematic. It needs to be in a proper order. We don't say jungle order. We always say jungle ko you have to manage in such a way that it becomes a proper order. So when we say SDG 15, it focuses on the aim of halting this deforestation, restoring the degraded forests and substantially increasing reforestation. So there's a lot of word forest, forest, forest. It's true, the more we are able to take care of these forests, the more we are able to take care of how to restore these forests, automatically things will become much, much better. It also advocates combating diversification and also making sure that everyone is working together towards restoring land affected by desertification, droughts, and floods. To protect biodiversity, it's very important that Goal 15, SDG 15, calls for urgent measures to end poaching and trafficking of unprotected plant and animal species. There are loads and loads of plants which are just going away. Beautiful plants or beautiful flowers which you used to see some years ago, they're not there anymore. So people are in the process of doing a lot of things. What can be done? What needs to be done? The answers is with you all, with all of us. We sitting in this room can talk, but it's not just talking that will make things happen. We need to join hands to see expertise of each other. Jo Piyush ji kar sakte hain, maybe what Caroline ma'am can do, maybe what Dr. Queen Elizabeth can do, I may not be able to do. So we need to hold each other's hand, come together and see where we can fill in the gaps, because there's always some gaps, there's always some loopholes. Doesn't matter aap kis country mein rehte ho, even though I live in Switzerland, where it's a lot of law and order, a lot of everything is so specific, so systematic, but fir bhi kahin na kahin thoda bahut chota mota loophole hota hi hai, which may not be visible to the world, but it is there because we are human and humans have the right to make mistakes. And we do make mistakes, doesn't matter how much control you are doing. So what can we do and what needs to be done? That's the question. And I think there are certain things which I want to talk about in terms of plan of action that can be done in order to bridge in those loopholes. I'm just going to talk about some plans of actions, and of course, people can comment what needs to be done and how it can be done. I'm sure people are connected and already doing certain things. So my first thing would be find a Goal 15 charity that you want to support. Any donation, big or small, can make a difference. It's not about money. It's about joining a movement. I would like to quote our guru, our world guru and influencer, Prime Minister Modi ji. He addressed UN dialogue on desertification and land degradation and drought. When he talked about it, lots and lots of people started coming in synergy. Yes, we need to do. It's always when a leader comes forward, he puts the first stepping stone, others just follow. I am involved with Save Soil by Sadhguru ji. I'm supporting that. So I would suggest if others can join hands to support any one social charity, it will make a difference. It can be anything, but just join hands. There's so many forests that you can save. There are so many places that you can rebuild, remake. So join that movement. Point number 2, reduce the use of paper. It's very important. Reduce printing. Get rid of paper education. Try to make it paperless. I know it can be taxing for the eyes, but the more we use technology, the better it is. Of course, excess of everything is bad, but try to make it a bit paperless, because if we are able to reduce the use of paper, we are also moving a step forward. Number 3, don't shop for pets. We don't need to go to these expensive places to get these animals, a animal, a pet parrot or a dog or cat, things like that. Go to shelter homes. There are a lot of shelter homes, local animal shelter homes, where some of the animals are there. Take an animal from there. It will give him a home. Just as we take children, we go to the orphanage and adopt a child, adopt an animal. That will automatically make animals on the roads less and less, and automatically it will be clean. So what, again, coming back to Modi ji, what he's talking about, Swachh Bharat, I think that's another thing that can be taken care of. The more we clean the things around us, each and every person is responsible for cleaning things around us, the more the world, the country will become beautiful, because each and every person is taking care of those small areas which are around you. So you will make a difference. Those small steps, those baby steps will definitely add on. Number 4, reduce and recycle paper, glass, plastic, any metal that you have. If you recycle it, automatically you're giving life to that product. So the more you reduce, the more you recycle, automatically you're taking care of the sustainable goals. Then again, fifth one, start composing food scraps that reduce the climate impact while also recycling nutrients. Like here in Switzerland, we do that a lot. You know, all the things like kele ke chilke, santre ke chilke, apple scraps, all those things. You know, if you just keep on keeping it in a big pot and making a compost, it's very easy. It's something that each and every person can do. Normally, we just throw them, but if we start collecting it and keeping it, it will become compost, and you can again use it as a manure. Instead of buying chemicals and getting those chemical things, you are just creating your compost and recycling it for your garden. Another one is keep and try to keep your local parks and forests clean. Don't throw things everywhere and everywhere. Be very, very cautious what you are doing, because children, they are watching you. If as a responsible parent or as a responsible adult, you are doing something which your children are watching, make sure. These are very simple things. I'm sure we know it, but we don't follow it. So it's very important to practice these small things. Make sure that you are able to do it. Don't use pesticides. You have to protect the soil. You have to protect the quality of soil. So try to have it more and more natural. Maybe you have to work a lot, but it's better to be natural. Last but not the least, stay informed. It's very, very important to keep your eyes and ears open to see what is happening globally, what is happening in one part of the world. What you can do, what you can contribute, others will just follow. And it's very important for us as responsible citizens of the country that we stay, that we have to give examples, because the more we give examples, our children are watching us. So instead of them being on their computers all the time, make sure you make them work in the garden. Try to get what we used to do in the past, our grandparents getting us working in the garden, plucking, fruits and things like that. Believe me, I'm not saying this because I'm on social media. I do that with my children as well. I do that with my children. I do it with my students as well. I try to encourage
This is audible.
Okay. Hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, sir.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
Vishali ma'am Gosavi, Telugu film actress. Actually, ma'am said that I won't speak much. I told her that just please join and say hi to all our members. Thank you, ma'am, for doing that wonderful part.
Yeah.
Because it's an inspiration, because you are supporting peace. It means you are supporting peace. Having your presence on this special occasion, it's a great strength to us. Thank you, Excellency. So, Rubu Bakshi ma'am, a wonderful speech, and Vishali Goswami ma'am, a wonderful special appearance. Thank you so much. And now we are going to Malaysia. There is my friend I want to invite from Malaysia, my friend. Just 1 second, let me take. Vincent Tay from Malaysia. He's a Vice President, Gentic Highlands. Vice President of Gentic Highlands, Malaysia. He's the one who ran almost all sessions in 2022 World Peace Summit. But due to his schedule, he's supporting this time as a speaker. Over to you, sir. Vincent Tay, sir. Sir, please switch on your video and audio.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Apparently, actually, I'm right now was attending one of the functions over in one of the temple over the north of Malaysia, that is in Penang. All right. So you're talking about the topic of the life in land, which I find that in Malaysia itself, there is a very big gap right now. Okay, which there's so much so-called kind of political kind of the influence which resulted, okay, which resulted whereby, okay, a vast kind of a forest reserve has been turned into so-called a development land, and more so-called forest has been cutting down, and this have resulted that not only so-called effect on the overall of the nature, and also in very much more so-called like very critical right now here is effect on the natural kind of resources. Example like the water. Okay, example like now in Malaysia, they are in the meteorological department. They based on their forecast, they are actually expecting the El Nino. Okay, and also this is a very dry season now. And what happened here is that there's a few state of the reservoir has been dried up. So we see further to the so-called the interest and the desire or the greediness of the human being, which have resulted and take away all those kind of nature that, and eventually what will really have the so-called the high impact is that now the not only the human, in fact the animal also are facing the problem, okay, to salvage the water to the extent of the kind of the urgencies. Okay, the secondly here is also that further to the so-called the political kind of influence, that also resulted that, okay, lack of kind of the support, okay, from the private sector, which they are very much more concerned in terms to gain more kind of a profit, okay, towards to the project development rather than, you know, to salvage or to protect, okay, the overall kind of the nature. Okay, and what happened here, no doubt they do have all the kind of well-planned kind of infrastructure. Okay, but again, that kind of infrastructure is unable to so-called match, okay, with the nature, okay, especially kind of the drainage system. So with the so-called, they're unable to so-called match up with the drainage system, especially when it comes to the monsoon. And what really happened here is that it takes, okay, thousand of people need to be evacuated, and also take some life, okay, from this such a very beautiful kind of planet. Okay, then other than this here is that, okay, no doubt beside that kind of impact, okay, there's a very small NGO groups right now. They also they are talking about how do they, okay, can be a loving kindness towards to the so-called the animal. Example, like how do they able to salvage like the cat, the dogs, okay, which they have been you know been landed all over the places, and nobody is really show the good care and concern. No doubt there is one or two the NGO, okay, they are trying their very best, but again that they are lacking of that kind of support from the kind of the local authority. So last but not least, I think it's good that one thing here is that further to this kind of forums, we hope that throughout the whole world, that will come into a solutions, a problem to the solution, and to address it accordingly, and then should they be able to bring forward towards to the so-called the United Nations summits. With that, I end my sharing with all of you here. With that, I'd like to say thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, dear sir. Thank you, dear.
Yeah,
actually, we are thinking that we are missing you, but anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us.
Sure.
Really, we are very much happy, sir. I say always that you are encyclopedia of sustainable development goals, because you and the Elur Srinivas, whenever even midnight, if you have some question about SDG, any SDG, you can give A to Z information. So we know that. That's why you are here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
We are
Have a good day. Thank you.
Now we have one more special guest, Sri Rajveer Yadav, founder and CEO, Center for Inspiring Excellence, Director, School of Finishing Touch, SART. Over to you, dear sir.
Thank you. A very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, connecting here on this wonderful webinar on socio-economic development goals from 1 to 17. It's really wonderful. As I requested Mr. Rajarao, I have been working on conservation of biodiversity from last 1.5 decades. And if it is possible, can I share my screen? If it is possible, just request the host to allow me. It will be really wonderful.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay,
please.
fine. I got it. That's wonderful. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm welcome. And it's really wonderful that we all are sitting here, and all together what I could find on my screen that we are having 17 participants across the globe. It's really wonderful. And first and foremost, I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart for taking pain to collect so many gems under one roof. Mr. Raja, he really deserves a big round of applause. I request you all sitting here on the screen, please give a big round of applause, because collecting people and making them available and ready to listen and to share their views are not so easy. What you made, really, it was wonderful. So coming to the task given to me is SDG 15, that is life on land. As we all know that the objective of this is to protect, restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems sustainably, manage forest and combat diversification and halt, resolve land degradation and halt biodiversity losses. Thanks to this picture shared by NASA, what you can see here, you can see on the screen there are some green part and some brown part. And thanks to aerospace technology that we can see the entire globe at one shot in such a small screen. And you can see here, these brown parts are the part which has already been deforested, and this is containing two-thirds of the entire earth available for us. So this is actually an alarming condition, that why should we discuss, why should we educate, why should we come together in order to have a thorough discussion, not only at discussion end but on execution end also, that what we are going to gift to our upcoming generations. So here comes Mr. Raja Rao has given me 10 minutes, and the moment I'm going to finish my talk, you will be highly surprised to know that we have already lost 270 soccer fields. Yes, we are losing forest worldwide at an astonishing rate equivalent to 27 soccer fields every minute. So you can understand how terrible this problem is going to be. So here comes, just see, we are having 17 goals, and I tried my level best to make it very easy for common people to understand, so that we can have involvement of common citizen across the globe, and we can use the synergistic effect of our youth also in order to make them involved. So here comes this entire 17 SDGs in 5 Ps. Just see, that is people, planet, then prosperity, peace and partnership. Just see what is happening here. When we talk about people, we have to talk about SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When we talk about planet, how we have to look after this planet Earth by incorporating this 6, 12, 13, 14, and 15. and we cannot imagine prosperity. We cannot imagine our overall development and survival here on this universe unless until we are talking about prosperity by fulfilling the objectives kept in SDG 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And there is nothing possible if we are not maintaining peace, justice, and strong institutions to monitor this under peace. And of course, holding the hand, having hand-to-hand holding is required, what we have kept there in partnership. So the thing what is very much important is, just see, all these 1 to 17 goals are interconnected, or that can be said that it is interwoven, what we have to think about. So what in this SDG 15, what we have to do, we have to make our effort to turn brown into green. Why this is very much important? You'll be highly surprised to know that, see this, you can just imagine that about 50% of the evaporation that actually attracts the rain comes from forest, and it is in billions. Forests there in India, means from Kerala, Uttarakhand, means the forest across the India actually evaporates billions of tons water per day just to attract this monsoon, just to attract the rain. And you'll be highly surprised to know that if we are going to boil this much of amount of water by using the boiling, means all these power stations across the globe, it will take at least 5 to 6 months to boil that, means to reach that evaporation point what has been delivered by our forest every day. That is why it is required to convert brown into green, means from desert to conservation or preservation of the forest. What is required? So why this life on land, and what are the challenges we have to understand? The first thing is our survival is based on this. We have to understand that without biological diversity, we would perish. Perhaps the most important value of biodiversity, particularly in a country like India, is that it meets the basic survival needs of a vast majority of the people. That is the first thing what we have to feed in the mind of the people in order to integrate and create a synergistic effect, what we have done in 27 districts of Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and we have converted 170 hectare infertile land into fertile land. 85 hectares out of that was completely that it was converted into infertile land. And the second thing is that we have to understand this important thing is that health and healing. Around 80% of people in developing countries developed of primary healthcare or traditional medicine on the most of which is derived from plants. We were facing this corona pandemic, and you'll be highly surprised to know that people here in India, means semi-urban villagers, remote areas, people were having giloy to boost their immunity, what was plenty in amount available there in nature. It means that we have to understand this health and healing concept. And the next very important part is that food security. Around 90% of the food comes from 20 plant species. That is why genetic diversity is very much important in breeding crops and livestock. And we have to educate people that a single pest invasion or disease could wipe out all standing crops or a particular livestock just in a matter of couple of seconds or minutes. This is why we have to talk about biodiversity. And friends, we all can never underestimate the power of aesthetic pleasure. Just see, can you imagine no artificial effects can bring this kind of soothness to your eyes when you are seeing that with your naked eyes by being in the lap of the nature. Can this be imagined without maintaining biodiversity or without maintaining life or forest on the world or the land? And the key challenges we have to understand to protect the life on the earth, that is including addressing, number one, addressing species and habitat extinction, which are driven by climate change, number one, then pollution, then unsustainable exploitation, invasive species, and habitat conversion due to agriculture. And this climate change is the major threat to ecosystem around the world. And then it is resulting in inavailability of clean water, habitat, and biodiversity, which in turn increases our vulnerability to the climate change, what we have to think and discuss on a very serious note. And then we have to talk about, we have to start educating about preventing wildfires. Mr. Raja Rao ji, you will be highly glad to know that here with IIT BHU, we had made some artificial intelligence based algorithm, what we have tested there in the dense forest area of Rihand Dam. And we had found that this artificial intelligence helped to trace the pattern of climatic or anthropogenic events eventually taking place there. And just see, in 2002 in Uttarakhand, wildfire incidences were around 250. And in 2012 only, just after 10 years, it's reached in multifold and it was around 15,000 wildfire incidences. Just see how drastic change is there and how it is going to be lethal if that will remain unsentenced. Then comes, we have to check the deforestation. And here also what I want to highlight, that artificial intelligence could be used to track deforestation at real time in remote communities where, you know, earlier what we were doing, we were keeping watch by utilizing either people or with this what do we say, drones. But drones were not very much effective. What we have to understand here, we have to use that artificial intelligence and machine learning methods to figure out these uncontrolled trespassing in these areas, which can be easily checked, and it will ultimately result in deforestation in the areas where we were working on this project. And then spotting and stopping poachers, that is very much important. And just see what we have seen, the things what we are witnessing is the only cause why we all should stand together to say no to all these activities, and we should start educating, start creating awareness among the society by incorporating youths. And then this is once again, every month almost you are witnessing some incidences in these areas nearby forest. Man-animal conflict. We have to train people that when such kind of conflicts or interactions are happening, how people should respond. Because just see, in the last 6 months only, we have lost precious more than 3 dozen tiger and elephants. What could be saved if we are training people how to respond in such situations? What we have done in Sonbhadra, and that was ultimately. Then of course, just see the conditions, what is happening. We have to start educating. Means life on land is beyond imagination if we are not going to sentence this pollution. Means what oil is spilling, and the most important is this biomagnification. This is what is resulting as a big harm. Then plastic accumulation, noise, that algal blooms and heat. These are ultimately actually producing the big threat to the life on the land. And then next comes what is very much important, what we can do. Now here comes, only saying will not be suffice unless we are taking action. Gandhi ji said it well that be the change what you want to see in the world. Means start volunteering, garden initiative to improve biodiversity in your surrounding, plant trees on your birthday and gift. We have started. There was a big ISAR conference, assisted Indian Society of Assisted Reproductive, where 460 delegates were there. We gifted them plants. And we have started here in Varanasi that everywhere, wherever there is something to exchange or to gift and gift only and only plant. It will help you to reconnect with nature and promote its values. Try to buy organic foods from local farmers and donate money to the organizations working for preservation of wildlife. And then the most important thing is that we have said a lot, we have done sizable. Why? We have to create public awareness, and we should do that in such a way that people could have their involvement in our task, and efforts should be made to reduce the level of pollutants in the environment. And then youth should be encouraged to strengthen the mission. Those who are doing Center for Integrated Rural Development, those who are doing masters in art with integrated rural development, we incorporated those students and they worked tremendously well. And people, we should promote people like Jadhav Molai as a national heroes. Just see this fellow Jadhav Molai Payang, the forest man of India. He started planting trees at the age of 16 only, but now he has created 1,360 plus acres forest. He spent 36 years of his life without becoming famous, and his forest is now a home of 100 to 110 elephants, 6 to 8 Royal Bengal tigers, and 1 single horn rhinos. So now, just after this much of time, if we are going to promote this kind of people as a national hero, so we can easily connect, we can bring a movement. We can bring a movement to fulfill the objective SDG 15 life on land, and they are quotable people. And just see, Government of India recognized after 36 years, and then he got that Padam Shri, and just see the forest man of India. So this kind of people are there. People like Dasrath Manjhi, who is known as the mountain man of India. If we are going to bring people on such platform and we are projecting them, they are having hands-on experience how to turn brown into green. They have done it. Means just imagine 1,360 plus acres planted by himself, dedicated his life. These people are torch bearers for us. And then good practices should always be encouraged. Biodiversity in production forest, agroforestry, landscape restoration, forest protected areas, non-timber forest products, payment for environmental services. And then the role of indigenous and local committees should always be encouraged. If we are underestimating them, so somewhere or the other way, we are like Anusachit Jati and Janjati Samudaya was there, they were acting well. So we incorporated them, we made them as ambassadors, and they by themselves, those who were earlier cutting the trees, now they are, means we bhakshak koi rakshak bana diya. Now they are preserving. That is what is required. And then access and benefit sharing, what is required. And just see, it is very funny. Imagine if trees gave off Wi-Fi signals, we would be planting so many trees and we would probably save the planet too. Too bad, they only produce oxygen we breathe. And this is really Means it is said that one picture tells more than 1,000 of words. Here, son, I saved all this money for your future. What son is saying? Oh, father, instead you could have planted some trees for my oxygen and done rainwater harvesting. For water, I really can't breathe and drink water with the money you are having. And if we are not doing anything till 2035, so we have to have some thing like this to celebrate World Biodiversity Day. So the days are not for, we have to come at steering, we have to start sharing our thoughts, opinions. At the same time, we have to be quotable, do something and show the people that I have done something. If you are not planting a garden, how can you say that I'm a man? Come and plant a garden. And conservation is everybody's business. Let's make a difference. And thank you. With all these words, I tried my level best to do justice. This in itself is a very big topic. And as I have been only given 10 minutes, so I tried my level best to sum up, to share as much as information possible to me. And by doing this, I am really proud to share that with volunteers of Banaras Hindu University, the knowledge of the capital of knowledge, we saved around 370 hectares of infertile land. That is what we are doing. And once again, this kind of forum was not possible without keen initiation of Dr. Raja Rao. So I request you all to give a big round of applause for once again to him for taking this pain for collecting all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, dear brother Rajveer. We are giving claps, not for me, but for you. Every day we have a speaker who speaks with his heart, because you are sweating. Of course, that's different, but here it's not different. You are communicating with your heart. That is clearly visible in your body language.
See, once it is said that action speaks louder than words. If you have done something, so there is no word required to share your things. Whatever is coming from my heart, because we have spent around 1.5 decades, from last 15 years continuously, we are working to save the nature, because this is only thing what we can give to nature, what we can give to society, what we can give to our upcoming generation. Because my son or my third, fourth upcoming generation will not ask that how much treasure I have kept him for his bright future there in the bank. He will ask that if our forefathers would have tried their level best with a sense of dedication, the world what we are living in would have been something different. With these words, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, dear sir. You are a man of compassion, because that's what I observed. Because every example you have taken, especially man versus what we call that animal, man versus animal, the examples are really heart-touching. The way you have presented it also really is, if you would have been trained, their lives would be entirely different. Thank you so much, brother.
My pleasure.
You have done a fantastic job. If we describe something like this, it's not enough. But anyway, there will be a page for you in the souvenir of World Peace Summit 2022 and 23. Certainly, we present it to you with a great honor, because the work is commendable. The presentation is wonderful. Thank you, brother. Salute to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night to you all.
Thank you, dear brother. Now we have an exceptional speaker, keynote speaker of the day. Actually, happy harmony. I like very much. That is the first thing. Because we have to encourage people, whoever is spreading positivity. Because in our present scenario, if you invest crores of rupees, you can't buy happiness. You may enjoy it with your money, but you can't buy happiness. So there are people like Dr. Pallavi, Vasudha ma'am, who are doing their best to spread this happiness for free. So the first thing, that is one, happy harmony. Second one is her appearance. Whenever ma'am appears, even in my first meeting also, I emphasized on that, because that professionalism in her appearance, that's so very, because it makes her, right, she is the one who deserves to spread the message of happiness. So with these two things, I have become a great fan of Dr. Pallavi ma'am. Actually, I thought that this summit has missed her, because I have been observing her FB post. She is doing, she is staying somewhere and she is doing something. She is posting some pictures and all. So seeing all these, we should not disturb ma'am. So let it. So that's what I thought. But what a ma'am messaged me that I am coming. So I felt very happy. And this is the day, that is 1 week back ma'am told me. Now we are in the situation. So this is the time to invite Her Excellency Dr. Pallavi Vasudha Viswas, founder of Happy Harmony. So over to you, Excellency.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for inviting to this wonderful platform. And I'm really, really amazed at the learning that I've received just now from Sir Rajveer, sir. It is tremendous learning. And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Your pleasure, sir. And all the guests that have earlier spoken their words out. It's really, really a great learning and sharing always on this platform. And thank you, Dr. Rajarao Pagdipalli and Dr. Caroline for inviting for this SDG Goal 15. So namaste and greetings from the land of happiness and harmony, India. I'm Dr. Pallavi Vasudha Viswas, founder of Happy Harmony, author of my debut book, From Hustle to Harmony, Master Work, Life, and Happiness. I'm a harmony happiness coach and a work-life harmony expert on a mission of spreading smiles across miles. And these miles are so very close to me for today's topic, life on land. These miles can only come across from this life of land that we've all been discussing. And what exactly is life on land? We all come from different lands. We all are so very attached to that land. As I said, I come from the land of happiness and harmony, India. Yes, I am a part of this land. Somebody is from UK, so they are attached to that land. Somebody is from Africa, so they are attached to that land. And what do we say when we say that life on land? What does it mean for Sustainable Development Goal and World Peace Summit? Peace and sustainability are, you can say, the two ways you can really balance or in fact bring harmony in this world when we are working together for these different sustainable goals. And as you see these sustainable goals, they're so very beautifully intertwined. When you look at the different goals, right from goal 1 to goal 17, when we talk about the previous goal that was there, life below water, then today's goal, life on land, equality, gender equality, poverty reduction, zero hunger, and all these, when they come together, what does it signify? Unless there is sustainability of life on land, how do we achieve these goals? How do we accomplish these goals? Sir has given a very great presentation as how alarming it is, the deforestation that is happening. The greens are turning into browns. People like the brown color, but sorry to say here, green is the color that we should fight for. For me, nature is the key to happiness. I, being a happiness coach, I always find those small joys. And recently I was on a vacation just now that sir referred to. I was in the Uttarakhand and oh my, the nature out over there is so pleasant and so inviting and so rejuvenating. And I happened to visit a forest reserve, and what I saw over there was termite hills. So I wondered, like these termites, we normally feel that they would be destroying, right? But he told me an interesting thing that these termite hills, they are decomposing the dead wood. So you see how that eco balance is being done. They're out over there, they're eating up the dead wood in the forest and sending that dead wood back to the Mother Earth, so that it gets decomposed and then you have new life new life of trees. And this greenery that we are speaking of, that why isn't this greenery protected? Why do we fail to understand the importance of the greenery, the whatever you have, the resources that we are being blessed? Now, if you happen to talk to the earlier generation or our grandparents, you would often hear them saying, this was not there during our times. We enjoyed the fresh air. We enjoyed the beauty of the nature. And they saw that how pleasant it was. The whole living on this earth was really, really very pleasant. And when they see that so many sicknesses and diseases are being spread across the land, they are also surprised that how come it is that now everything is surfacing? So where does all this boil down to? We need to protect the life on land. We need to take efforts to sustain this life on land. Billions of years ago, the first life on land is a microbe that happened to take life on this earth. And today we are a human being with mind, and most importantly, a heart. A heart that why is it failing to see or recognize what are we doing to this Mother Earth? We always say it is Mother Earth. And there is a beautiful phrase in Sanskrit that says, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. And when it is one family, can't we protect this Mother Earth? Can't we take small steps towards protecting this life on land? We need to prevent, then stop, then restore, and then promote life on land. I'm not going into the statistics because they are really very alarming. But what we can do, let me share an example. Most of them must be knowing the Anand Hemal Kasa in Maharashtra. You see that name, it's so beautiful. It is Anandvan. Baba Amte, respected Baba Amte, the Padma Shri awardee, Dr. Prakash Amte, his wife, Dr. Mandakini Amte, they have literally devoted their life for the restoration of the land at Hemal Kasa Anandvan, whereby they are protecting not only the tribals out over there, they had very less or no, in fact, facilities for medical facilities. And they are the people who have been working for years. They've toiled their lives for this. And today, when Sir spoke about like the conflict between animal and man, you will see a very beautiful harmony at this Hemal Kasa Anandvan between animals and the tribals out over there. They feel safe, they feel protected. And I think that as we as human beings, that is what we are aiming at, isn't it? That we should feel protected while others coexist. And I feel that is exactly what it means to sustain. Sustain and sustainability is a long process. You can't just say that today I've planted a tree, so that's it. Let us nurture that plant. Let us see to it that it blooms into a beautiful tree. And we all know what are the benefits of trees. We all know what are the benefits of having forests. What are the benefits of having really having a good biodiversity so that our well-being is protected. And when our well-being is protected, you will automatically feel that smile. You will be smiling because your well-being is protected, your family's well-being is protected, and what in turn we need to do is just protect the land. Does that sound that difficult? We know of so many initiatives that are happening that start having organic food. Let us have food, or let us buy things from the local farmers. I know there might be quite a lot of foreign foods that attract us, the younger generations especially. But if you try to go back to the roots, you will find the nutrients much higher in the locally grown foods. And as Sir rightly said, this was very, very much highlighted during the pandemic. We were going back to our Ayurveda. We were going back to the roots. And that is what kept us going. We sustained that. We combated that COVID. And today all of us are there on this beautiful platform. We are discussing what should we do for life on land. It is important. Why is life on land important? Obviously, because we are here, we are talking to each other. Without this life, how are we going to be connected? How are we going to bring out the best from all of us who are really, really striving to sustain? And it is normally said, the fittest shall survive. Now, what in terms of fittest is we need to look at our lands. How can we make our land, or how can we make this life on land the fittest so that it not only survives, but it is sustainable, because that is what we need to gift our future generations. I'm picking up so many words from you, Rajveer sir, because all this, that what we need to give to the future generations and everything, as you rightly said.
My pleasure, ma'am. That's my pleasure. It's my pleasure that a personality like you is, coaching my words. That's my pleasure. More than honor for me.
Thank you so much, sir. And like, what do we give to our future generations? It is said, it is not what words you say, but how you make the other person feel. So rightly, what gift you give to the future generations, they're not going to remember the bank balance, but they're going to remember the survival gift. If we give them this gift of survival, this gift of life on land, they're obviously going to live to cherish the fruits of survival. And automatically, obviously, we know the money comes in when you are surviving. So these few things that most of us have already spoken, that deforestation is really alarming, the poaching is really alarming, the mining is really alarming, the pollution that is happening, the green gas emissions that is happening, all this, we all know, the climatic changes that are happening. We were taught in schools that the rainy season is from, it comes like up to May to summer, then June to September, you will have rainy season. But now you see, oh my God, you need to carry the umbrellas either for the sun or for the rains, you don't know. So it just happens to pour. Because just now, as I said, I was there in Uttarakhand and all. 1st of May, it was raining very heavily in Rishikesh. And people out over there started saying, it doesn't rain normally now, but it is raining. And when you think back, or when you look back, these seeds of climate change we are responsible for that. Each day, let us count, let us see to it that how we can help the conservation of the resources, the conservation of, maybe you cannot directly go to the forest and do something out over there, but at our own level, let us do it. You must be aware that many households in India, it was a sacred this thing that each household should have a tulsi plant at home. So that tulsi, it has the medicinal value, and it was also it gave all the purification, and as a sacred, I feel all our traditions and everything, it had some scientific value as well as that traditional value. And we need to look back when this life, because we know now the composition of the population that is happening and the land that is there. Can we match that proportion? Can we match a survival or sustainable life for all of us so that we can live happily and in harmony? So few things already, as I said, it is repetitive, but let us make good consumer choices. As I said, locally grown food, we should be having and promoting rather the local farmers. Then government policies are coming up, but we need to do our bit for the renewable sources and let the technology and these renewable sources have a marriage together, so that, as again I say, like Sir said, AI and ML will marry together with the whatever policies are there, so that we have a sustainable life. And yes, please protect forests, please protect the lives. And this is the most important gift that we can give to our future generations. And before I conclude, I will just say a few lines in Hindi. इस धरती को शत शत नमन, इस धरती को शत शत नमन, हमारी पहचान इस धरती से जुड़ी है, हमारी पहचान इस धरती से जुड़ी है। तो फिर क्यों हम नहीं समझते, तो फिर क्यों हम नहीं समझते कि पेड़ और पौधे हैं इसकी जान, पेड़ और पौधे हैं इसकी जान, और सभी जीव जंतु है इसका मान। चलो तो फिर हम आज एक प्रतिज्ञा करेंगे कि हम रक्षा करेंगे इस धरती की, ताकि हम और आने वाला कल रहे सुरक्षित। It is again same thing that I spoke in English, it is just put in Hindi. And thank you once again, Dr. Rajarao Pagdipalli, Dr. Caroline, and wishing everybody a very, very good evening once again. And thank you once again. Gratitude.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. That's so wonderful. That's so awesome. Actually, if I write a keynote speaker to any person, that means they have so much responsibility on their shoulders. Something like they are backbone to the program, because sometimes guests may speak or not, because they might join as per their designation. We don't expect much from chief guests. Actually, that is what happened, because by designation they are so great, but coming to subject, we cannot expect that much from them. So there are our chief guests who are, of course, they are preparing very well, but sometimes it may also happen. But anyway, if you are a good speaker, which means you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulder, so 100% that is justified by Dr. Pallavi Osdar. Really, thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. I know that you can, but it's not can, it can. If we can say a better word, we can put it there. So thank you so much. Because whenever you appear, you made your impact on the program. That's what you've done today. Actually, you are going to be in the between these two sessions, first session and second session. But here is a small remark. Our honorable guests have joined from all the way USA. Pirete J. Huwain. Pirete J. Huwain, kindly please switch on your video so that we can see.
Good
Please switch on your
afternoon,
video, Excellency.
good afternoon, everyone. I'm kind of a little bit, my laptop video is not working, so it's my cell phone. I apologize for that. Thank you very much. I would just left one meeting to another meeting and then realized it's past the time that we were supposed to be in. And thank you very much for having me today and then to speak about SDG 15. And I apologize, my video is not working in my laptop as well as my phone because I've been driving around. I dropped my phone.
Okay, Excellency, just 1 minute, just 1 minute. I request Cynthia Vinny ma'am, please stay. Priyanka Malik ma'am, please stay. And Millie Das ma'am, please stay. We'll be back in 2 minutes, okay? Because when video is switched off, the rest of the speakers will leave the Zoom. So please don't go anywhere. The speech will end in 2 minutes. Over to you, Excellency.
Would you like me to continue?
Yes, please continue now.
Okay. Regarding the SDG 15, when you look at it, why UN create 1 to 17, and each one of them has a meaning and a development to do. When you look at it, it's like you create a curriculum for a major. For example, if you go to college and then you want to major mathematics, you want to have a master in business, you want to have a master in nursing, you have several steps in order to achieve. It's just like when you look at the SDGs, you have SDG 1 to SDG 17, the 17 which is a partnership. But when you look at SDG 15, the one that I have to talk, is related to SDG 3. Why is it related to SDG 3? Plant, that's health. As you could see, if you're in the field of health, pharmacy, what do we use to make medicine? Plant. If you need, you have plant, what do you need? Oxygen. What we breathe, oxygen, the same thing. If you go again to look at SDG 15, what is connected to SDG 5? Why SDG 5 is connected to SDG 15? Because of what? The majority of culture, where you have countries that men has power to control the land. We come to SDG 5, gender equality. When it comes to gender equality, the men of the house, for example, Saudi Arabia and the Arabic countries, women has no authority of land. So therefore, we are losing what? Land again. We are losing what? Power of women power. Just like the SDG, one other is connected. When you look at SDG 15, what is connected to? 8 and 9, job and opportunity. Each one of them connect to each one of the SDG connect to each other, but we do not realize it. Why is connected? Why SDG 15, and why do we need to focus and growing back plan? Give me one example. Again, if you look at the globe, each country has what? Their own climate change. For example, Florida, United States has 50 states. Florida has what you call hurricane season. If you look at California, California doesn't have hurricane season, but California has earthquake, deforestation. They mean fire is too hot. If you look at Oklahoma, what Oklahoma has related SDG 15, tornado. Exact SDG 15 is a circle back from 1 all the way to 15. When you look at climate change, you go back to SDG 1. Why is that? Poverty again. So each time there's a disaster, either from SDG 13, 14, and 15, it affects back all the way to 1, coming back to 15. We as a CSO, NGO, whatever you want to call it, what are we fighting for? To complete the UN goal, the SDG 2030. But how could we face and complete each one of them by 2030, which we are facing what? The same thing, climate change, the same thing, deforestation, the same thing, hurricane season, the same thing, poverty. The only one thing that we could focus on and how to achieve it is number 1, education. Now we're going back to SDG 4. So how many of us believe in advocacy? How many of us has time to do advocacy? We don't. We are very busy. Education advocacy could also start at home. Simple. 1, 2, 3 person could spread the word and then continue with it. If you remember a year or 2 years ago, there's one man, for so long, it was one man only, the forest died. What he did, daily he planted one tree, another tree, another tree, another tree. What happened after so many years? All the animals left, came back. So meaning SDG 15 is not only life for only plant, for only animals. SDG 15 is also life from SDG 1 to 17. How could we implement it? We heard so many of it. We heard so many speech. We heard so many statistics. But when we go home, do we have a time, 1 minute, to continue to educate it? That's the question. But when you come to conference, we all expert to discuss every single SDG from UN 2020-30. Are we going to accomplish everything? I'm not quite sure. Because what? Because of climate change, we're affecting, we're touching every country, everyone on earth, all and breed one thing from plant. Either you go to a doctor, you've been prescribed medicine, it's come from one thing, the plant. You can't go to a doctor, You take a leaf, you boil it, you drink it, you feel 10 times better. Are we going to continue after 2030, continue growing, protecting the forest, protecting the oxygen, and for us to continue to live? Remember, the plant, we don't only depend on it, so the birds, so the elephant, they eat on it. We take it, we breathe with it, we boil it, we drink it to make tea, all kind of beautiful tea. We take it to what? To make medicine with it. That's the same thing. The animal cannot speak, is in the forest. The plant survives and live on the plant. Not only for oxygen, they also gathering water from it. Let not only talk about SDG. Connect what one is connect to each other. If you said plant, so therefore you need what? How many animals that you need? Correct. How many poverty? Correct. So therefore the SDG 15, the plant, you grow, what is it? Not only forest, food, agriculture. You eliminate, reduce malnutrition. You eliminate and reduce malnutrition as well from the animal as well. Let's one of us go in the tree, count each branch and count each leaf. You will never count, you will never finish counting. That's what you call life. A life to breathe, a life to eat, a life to enjoy. Let's all enjoy what you call the land. Let the woman culture change for them to continue what their husband used to do, and then for them to control the land equal as a man, equal as a grandfather, equal as a cousin, and let them have a voice. With that, we will continue to see not only the Agenda 2030, we will continue and prolong it. Once again, thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure talking to you all.
Thank you, Excellency. It was so good. But we would have seen you, that would be better. But anyway, the content and your voice, fantastic, fantabulous. When the narration is fantastic and subject is so deep. Thank you so much, Excellency. Now I invite our next guest. Only two more guests are there after Dr. Sindhya Viniji. So I invite Dr. Sindhya Viniji, Assistant Professor, Christ Jyoti College, Autonomous from Bangalore. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you, sir. So good day, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Sindhya Viniji from Christ Jyoti College, Autonomous, Bengaluru. I'm really privileged and honored to speak about this SDG 15 in such a big platform. So I'm just going to go right into it. I'll be just taking around 10 minutes, not more than that. So when this life on land is nothing but, it's about all the animals and other life forms, and how is that we are protecting them. So when we see, there's every SDGs has got its own outcome targets as well as indicators. So first, when we see, it's all about protecting and restoring and promoting sustainable use of the terrestrial ecosystems. That is, the raw goods, and how we are, protecting the soil quality as well. So before going into that, let me just say, why, there's need of this SDG 15, that is life on land, and why is that they brought in this particular SDGs. If you see the reports, for past few years reports, it's been said that around 13 million hectares of forests are being lost every year, and 1.6 billion people, they depend on forest, for their livelihood, especially the indigenous people. So when you take indigenous people, I'm not going to specify any particular indigenous, but then it's indigenous around the world. And when you see that those indigenous people, they stick on two tools, or they use two strategies. One is the ecological resistance, and the other one is ecological resilience. And if you see what is ecological resistance, is nothing but act of resisting, that is having an ecological consciousness in them, and using the ecological consciousness, how is that they are trying to promote the sustainability in the community. So you can see that indigenous people are somebody who focus solely on preserving and protecting their land, their community as well. So other reasons I've listed visited down, the forest, as we all know, is home to a lot of trees and plants, and drought is one of the main concern, and you can see this animals going extinct as well. So these are the concerns that people we were having. So SDG 15 were brought because they have to address these concerns, and how is it we're going to solve all these problems. And if you see this period of this COVID, post-COVID, if you see, there are a lot of families, not just, there's one of the speakers here in the beginning, he mentioned about creating awareness in the rural areas as well. So as he mentioned that, so, this COVID, this period, it actually, instilled in the minds of a lot of people, the importance of having plants around us. So I can see, they started depending on this traditional plant medicines, for having the basic health care. So we can see a lot of reports on that, and people have started planting a lot of trees as well as herbal plants in their houses. And that, in a way, the scale, probably before 10 years back, it was a bit less. And now people are focusing on, having a lot of plants in their house, even in the rural areas as well as in the urban areas as well. That difference is, you can see, in a large scale nowadays. And one of the, when it comes to SDG 15, one of the main concerns is actually, the animals going extinct. And this is being considered kind of as a failure. And because they say around many animals, especially, the tigers, and we have the elephants, certain animals, they're going extinct, and they're trying so hard, to preserve them. And we all know that, the global deforestation is mainly happening, around 90% is happening due to agricultural expansion. And this is based on another report that was taken in the year 2022. It was said that this agricultural expansion, the need for this expansion was mainly because of this cropland expansion, because they want to, cultivate a lot of crops. And the other one is actually the livestock expansion. So these are the main reasons why, the agriculturists or many people from that side, they're trying to expand their lands. And this is one of the concern for this deforestation. So that area, people are looking into it, and they're trying to improve this as well. And when it comes to SDG 15, they have this 12 targets as well as around 14 indicators, how they're going to achieve this particular targets. So I'm just going to mention 3 of the targets, important targets. One is conserving and restoring the terrestrial and freshwater ecosystem, and this was set, to achieve by the end of the year 2020. However, this is also being extended. The other one is actually ending deforestation, and this goal was set by the year 2020. They thought they will achieve any of this deforestation, which also failed. But that is, to a certain extent, the scale is increased. They say that it is the process is being slowed down. So that scale, that graph has also been mentioned in those reports. So another one is actually ending this so-called the desertification and the land degradation as well. So for to improve those qualities or restore the lands, you can see many people, they're coming forward to protect their land, especially the indigenous people. They're helping the rural people as well. So that difference I was able to find when I was reading out certain articles. And also, I would like to mention that being a professor from a college, so what can we do is that I just take a pride in saying that our college, that is the Prestigious College here, we have been awarded the gold rating for being the green campus, and we stick to triple R's, that is reuse, recycle, as well as reduce. So this is something that we are trying to do in the college, and we know that creating awareness is it's a key to everything, and awareness is the first step to achieve any goal in their life. And this to achieve this particular goal, creating awareness is important. So being a professor, we try to create such awareness in the students, so they can actually, how is it students can contribute in this SDG 15 as well. So we in our college, we have around 10,000 students. So, for every year or every 3 years, when those students, when they leave the campus, what is it they take with them? We see that, we promote the SDG goals. We do have orientations on them, and so I would say that creating awareness is one of the main thing when it comes to colleges. And personally, I felt that there are a lot of projects for professors out there. ICSR projects made available, government-funded projects being made available to the professors and teachers and researchers, where they can actually, do a lot of research on these areas. So one of my colleagues, I remember, she took up a land and she did a project on that particular, region. It was a deserted land, and it's been a year or something, and she planted around 500 plants, and even till today, she's taking care of it. That particular land, seeing, it has a lot of medicinal plants, traditional medicinal plants, as well as trees as well. So now it's grown, and you can see like how that particular professor, along with the students, they go to the land and they tend the land, seeing to that they preserve that particular plants. So you can see like how our students are also, playing a vital role in this. So being from this background, I thought this is something that we as a teacher, as a professor, that we can do is just by creating awareness in the students, because they are the future of our world. So it's for them is what we are trying to preserve. So I would like to end with that particular point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellency, Honorable Cynthia Vinayam. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much. First one, a beautiful subject and beautiful presentation. The flow of words, it's really fantastic, and the subject is exceptionally well. And being an art student, I think you are so describing science with such command. That's a really wonderful job that you have done, and taking it to practicality with on behalf of your college or from your personal life. So it's so great. Thank you, Excellency, having your presence and beautiful presentation with remarkable examples. Thank you so much. You made the day. And we have one more speaker, Millie Das, a national and international award-winning writer, poet. We have our Excellency Millie Das from Calcutta. Over to you, Excellency. And please switch.
Hello.
Unmute your mic. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful invitation, and I'm really very happy to all of you, the great personalities there. Thank you so much to invitation here. And now I'm going through my today's topic about life on land. What is the goal here? Actually, peace, stability, and human rights and effective governance based on the rule of the law are the implement for sustainable development. We are living in the world that is increasingly divided, and sustainable development is hello.
Please continue, ma'am. Please continue.
You are audible. Please continue.
Actually, there was a call. That is why the problem. What's the goal here? To sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, halt reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. Why? Forests cover nearly 31% of our planet's land area. From the air we breathe, to the water we drink, to the food we eat, forests sustain us. Think about it. Around 1.6 billion people depend on forests for their livelihood. Almost 7% of the world's poor are affected directly by the degradation. Forests are from home to more than 80% of all terrestrial species of animals, plants, and insects. And of the 8,300 animal breeds known, 8% are extinct and 22% are at risk of extinction. Biodiversity and the ecosystem services it underpins can also be the basis for the climate change. And adaptation and disaster risk reduction strategies, as they can deliver benefits that will increase the resilience of people to the impact of the climate change. forests and natures are also important for the recreation and the mental well-being. In many cultures, natural landscapes are closely linked to the spiritual values, religions, benefits, and traditional teaching. What would we it cost if don't correct the problem? Biodiversity delivers multiple services from local to global levels. While responses to biodiversity loss range from emotional to utilitarian, from instance, insects and other pollinaries are estimated to be worth more than 200 billion per year to the global food economy, three-quarters of the top-ranking global prescription drugs contained components delivered from the extract, which would be threatened. Natural disaster caused by ecosystem disrupted by human impact and climate change already. What can we do? Inevitably, we change the ecosystem we are a part of through our presence, but we can make choices that either affirm diversity or devalue it. Some things we can do to help include recycling, eating locally based diet that is sustainable resource, consuming only what we need and limiting energy uses through efficient heating and cooling system. We must also be respectful forward wildlife and only take part in eco tourism opportunities that is responsibilities to ethical run in order to prevent wildlife disturbances. Well managed protected areas support healthy ecosystems, which in turn keep people healthy. It is therefore critical, secure, and involvement of the local communities in the development and management of the protected areas to find out more about few things. As we have to achieve this goal, we want to live on this earth, and I am lucky to this in born of this land. We live in this. We get shade for nature, we get food for nature, and only for nature we can breathe. It gives us peace. We should do something for our children. We can save the trees for their future. People are growing day by day. There are not as many trees. We are human beings, but we don't have good sense. So we bring our own danger. We are destroying our world. This is my few words about life on land.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
If there will be
Ask the
chance,
speaker.
I want to say one poem about peace.
Just 1 minute, ma'am, please.
Okay. We want peace. There have been many wars all over the world. Now we want peace. The people of the whole world will be tied together. We wouldn't fight. We wouldn't fight. We fall asleep under the same sky. We are illuminated by the same moonlight. Our feelings are the same. Why will we war in the bosom of the beautiful family? We all should be tied together. The consequences are good. We don't want violence. We don't want conflict. We don't want noise. We don't want fight. No. I don't want any more bloodshed. We just want the atmosphere of peace to come down in the whole world. Just want peace and love. We can see the flag of peace is flying in the distance. We want to fly the flag of die and stick together. In the chest of the world, we don't want war anymore. We don't want murder anymore. We don't want. Now we want love. Now we want only peace and peace and peace. Thank you so much. And lots of love to all of you.
Thank you so much. So nice poem. Now, last speaker, Dr. Priyanka Malik Ma'am, professor from Amity University, Noida. Sorry, Excellency, we didn't send you the schedule. You have waited for more than 2 hours. Sorry, that's our mistake. Actually, we posted in group thinking that everyone has reached. You stayed nearly 2.5 hours and you are leaving, so we felt very sad. Thank you for rejoining. I invite Honorable Dr. Priyanka Malik Ma'am, professor from Amity University, and she is the director of an NGO. Over to you, Excellency.
First of all, thank you so very much. I know it's very late and almost all the points have been covered by all the dignitaries. So I'm so thankful to Mr. Raja Rao, who actually connected me on this platform. I won't take much time. This is Dr. Priyanka Malik, and I do have our NGO, that is Vedarna Foundation. Vedarna Foundation is working on 4 aspects. One is your plantation, environment, health, education, and population control. So we all know that, this plantation and environment is very, very important nowadays. Because, whenever we talk about environment, I always, and whenever I heard about our land, I always, remember one quote of Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed." This quote is a very meaningful. Nowadays, we are becoming greedy. That is the biggest problem. We want four houses. We want 2-3 cars. We want bungalow and etc. etc. And for that matter, we are cutting trees. We are actually playing with our nature. This is actually creating so many problems to us. As Dr. Pallavi has talked about, we are into the alarming situation. Yes, we are. And for that matter, I would like to give you some statistics which are very alarming for us. According to UNO, it has been said that wherever we are living, that the 35% of the land should be covered by the forest. But if I talk about India, it is only 23%. And we know about the population. So it is because whenever we are talking, we are talking about, we all need oxygen. And that oxygen is coming from the plants only. This is the only way out we do have. As Dr. Rajveer said that, many plants we are deforesting. So 1.3 million hectares of forest are being lost every year. Again, it's a very huge number. So we all should think about it, that how to save it, what to do. And Dr. Ruby has given very good ideas. I want to add few more ideas into that. We should give our generation, because whenever, the good environment, good food, and these things can come only when we tell them the importance of the plantation, importance of the plants. And for that matter, we should tell them that what they can do. So whenever we go anywhere, we should always tell them that they should nurture only one plant, maybe per year. It is not very tough, but yes, we can do it. Whenever we go anywhere nowadays, we don't give any gift. We give them the plant. And we tell them to please nurture this plant for at least 1 year. So I think nurturing one plant is not a tough job. One plant at least. So this is very, small. Apart from that, we should, we should give that wastage to someone who can be used of. For example, if I talk about so the peels of the, vegetables and the peels of the fruit, I always give to cows. So because whenever we are talking about the earth, every creature on the land has a meaning. When the God has created every creature, they have a meaning, and we should give the respect to each and every creature of the earth. Because we are becoming greedy, we are not understanding the importance of these animals and that every small insect which is on the earth, right? So we should give them respect. If they are living with us, these insects, animals, then only we are able to live. Otherwise, there will be a lots and lots of wastage, and we will be, in around us, we will have all the manure, and in that case, we will not be able to live. We always blame, we always want that government should do this and government should do that. What about our responsibility? How many of us are thinking about that? Yes, this is my, apart from the government, this is my responsibility to clean the environment. This is my responsibility to protect the animals. This is my responsibility to have that peace and happiness in the society. What are we doing it for that? We should always ask the question from us. We all have seen this in COVID, that we cannot live with the technology. We cannot live in a closed room. We all need nature. If whenever we want to go to the vacations, we always think, okay, where we will find good environment, where we will find good, greenery. What? And we are the only one who are cutting these trees. So we should have many, many questions in front of us. And I would request all of us to always have this question in our mind so that we can become better and responsible citizens for our country. It is, important for us that we should tell our children that they also want this kind of environment where they can take breathe. If I talk about AQI level, the AQI index is so high, especially nowadays. So it is a question mark on us, right? So we should always ask from us, and we should give the training to our children. Only bookish knowledge is not important. We should tell them to take action, and that can be done only in the field. So we can start it by, we can give them plan, and we can tell them to plant that at least, again, only one plant which they should nurture. And that is how they will learn compassion. They will learn how it is this particular plant belongs to them, and they will learn, because ultimately all of us wants to stay happy. All of us wants to have peace, and all these things will not come from money. All these things will not come from the bricks. These things can come with the good environment and with the good society, where all of us can, handshake with each other, and they can work together, and that's how we can make peaceful society. And that's all from my side. Thank you so very much.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. Somehow you landed in the last stage, last speaker. There is a saying, all wells that ends well. That is why you are there. Because everyone, whoever leaves this platform on 15th day, because of Dr. Priyanka Malik ma'am, even though Dr. Pallavi Usda ma'am put all efforts, but the credit goes to who concluded that. So, Excellency, thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
Because you are there from the beginning, I observed. I thought that I forgot to send you the schedule, otherwise it won't happen, but you stay.
Yeah, because I did not get any schedule.
Sorry. Because we posted it in group, and we thought that everyone received. That's the problem. But anyway,
I'm not the part of any group. So
Yes.
you send me individually.
Okay, okay.
But
That
yet,
might be
you know, I have heard so many people, and good to hear. This is my first time when I'm speaking. I do not know how did I, how did I deliver?
It's muted, Excellency.
Sorry. We are working since 10, 15 years, and we live in NCR in India, and we have planted more than 500 trees. And specifically, we plant only neem, people, and burger, because there is an importance of these plants because it gives the oxygen most of the time. And burger, we do puja of burger. Why do we puja? Because it is actually, uh, giving space to so many insects, and it is have the longest life. That's why we do plant these kind of trees. And I would request all of you to start planting these trees so that we can improve our AQI level, which is the requirement of our country. Thank you
Sure,
so very
Excellency.
much.
Sure. We'll do it for sure. Thank you so much. So a great day is going to be concluded within few minutes. Just stay 2 or 3 minutes. It's a vote of thanks time, because at the end, when we say thanks to each other, that we can, because today I started my journey at 6 o'clock. 6 to 8, I have a big meeting with some eminent people, and I immediately landed to this, and here it continued. So I wanted to wind up it by 10 o'clock, but however, it is going to 10:30. So every day it's happening. But anyway, it deserves, because we are forgetting the time as we are communicating. We are forgetting the time. So today many things have happened. From morning onwards, we are communicating with vice chancellors, because on 18th we have a valedictory celebration. So I started communicating with vice chancellor to invite them, and almost I set a target of 5 vice chancellors. It's already fulfilled. It may even go to 10 members, because they didn't confirm earlier, but today they have confirmed the 5 vice chancellors. Even tomorrow also some are ready to confirm. But anyway, we said 5, and 5 IAS or IPS officers. We don't know how it goes, but we are inviting 10 guests, 10 eminent persons. 5 are vice chancellors and 5 are government officials. So 10 are chief guests for 83, because nearly 300 speakers. They deserve to be appreciated by those 10 eminent people on that day. So on 18th, all our speakers would join, and they share their happiness, as it is a valedictory celebration. And let's deserve the thanks from, let's deserve the wishes from those eminent people, because they are not just vice chancellors. They are brigadiers, brigadier generals, and they are nuclear scientists. If we see their background and research work, that's really amazing. So we'll see all those eminent personalities, because we have galaxy of star speakers today. And on that day, we can witness the galaxy itself. So some beautiful days are going ahead, because tomorrow also we have wonderful guests. Some are joining from US and UK. So beautiful day ahead tomorrow. And day after tomorrow also, some vice chancellors are joining. So all good days are ahead. Just before saying vote of thanks, I request Professor Dr. Vijay Caroline ma'am, Managing Director of Oil Council, for a concluding remarks. Then I will say vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting. Really, I was engrossed completely. Everyone spoke well. Every point is to be noted, and we need to understand the importance of living organisms on the land. Yes, we need to teach, especially the younger generation, our children, to know the importance. I won't take much time, only 1 minute I take up. To teach students the importance of trees, we have to tell them that it gives oxygen. So through experiments, we can do some little experiment to the children, what is the importance of oxygen and how the trees gives us oxygen, how the carbon dioxide will be reduced. Trees use cooling effect. So how trees absorbs sound, noise. That's why we grow trees around the factories and industries. So we have to take them to the industries and teach them. If any industry is not surrounded with the trees, what will happen? Let us see the noise. pollution. So we can make them realize and understand through little experiments like industrial visit. As engineering students generally move to industries and find out the mechanical or the engineering technical subjects. At the same time, we have to make them understand the importance of trees, which are very important for living organisms. So we are also part of living organisms. We are called as social animals, and we too need oxygen. So as we have seen the previous speakers, currency will not help younger generation to lead a good life. So oxygen is very important that we get only from trees, and our planet is called as blue and green. But as ma'am said, green is completely disappearing, and we are seeing into desertification. Brown color we notice on the planet. So we have to make them realize through little experiments, the day-to-day experiments. For example, if they are taking up the yogurt, how it is prepared, the microbe. So microbes can help in having good yogurt for their health. At the same time, microbes can harm. So how these microorganisms are entering into the environment of the human being. As we're cutting down the trees, all the virulent microorganisms entering into the habitat of human beings. So we are not, they are not moving into our habitat, but we have been into their habitat, and we are affected with virulent microorganisms. We are caused with different types of diseases where even doctors do not understand the symptoms, and they take some time to understand the virulent strain, its characters, then they take up the drugs. So this is the pathetic situation we are facing nowadays. And so we have to make them understand, if there are no microorganisms, a little microbe which can cause COVID, a little microbe clear the debris. And if microbes are not there, there is no clear of debris, and we will be living on the pile of dead bodies. So we have to make them understand, especially we are all now knowledgeable, educated. We know the importance of trees. We know the importance of animals. We know that genetic diversity because of the biodiversity. If there is no biodiversity, no genetic diversity, no pollination, no cross-pollination, how do we get the food? We know that because of genetic diversity loss, we are not getting good varieties of food. So in this way, we have to teach younger generation so that they take up growing up or taking care of the saplings, trees, and the plants. So the importance of afforestation is very important. Importance of taking care of the biodiversity, especially the tribals are losing their culture. So the heritage and culture of tribals are so high. We have to make them to lead a prosperous life in their habitat without losing the culture. So we have to educate the younger generation so that they take care of the forest and the living organisms, as every living organism on this earth is very important, especially supporting the human being. So I feel that every eminent speaker spoke about the importance of living organisms on the land, where these organisms especially support human beings. So we need to take care of the planet more cautiously and see that our future generation lead a happiest life and peaceful life on this earth. Thank you very much, all the global leaders who joined us and shared your knowledge, expertise, and
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful speech at the end. So now vote of thanks. Just 2 minutes. We start with Professor Dr. Vijay Carey, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for wonderful concluded remarks. The way you put forward everything, that's so amazing. As usually, you have done a commendable job, ma'am. We are very honored and pleased to listen to you. Amjur Vishwanath, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you for joining. Please keep continue the good work, brother. You are always
thank
there.
You very much.
Supporting us. And Vishwanath Panikrai, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your blessings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Priyashri, ma'am, 15th, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Poonam Goti, ma'am, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pallavi Vasudha, ma'am, we'll give you certainly an award, ma'am, to you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for bringing so much happiness onto this platform with your smile.
Thank you.
Then Geeta Suryavanshi ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Then
Nice to meet with all of you.
thank you ma'am. Thank you ma'am. Millie Das ma'am. Thank you
Lots
so
of
much.
love for your great invitation. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much.
so much. Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas ma'am, will you please appear on the screen? Queen Elizabeth Lucas ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
You
to
almost
everyone.
stayed 2.5 hours. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much
Thank you, sir.
for spending that
Thank
much time with us. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Srikanth Kalurkar sir, how are you doing, sir?
Fine, sir, fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now we are happy. Then Vincent X, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, with the wonderful galaxy of star speakers, as I said in the so there is our PRMM is there from US. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. You are a sudden surprise today.
Thank you. Thank you.
From USA, you are a sudden surprise. We are thinking that we are missing you today, but in the last moment you have joined and delivered a beautiful speech. Next time suddenly you would appear. Then we want to see you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Good night.
So, with this note, we are concluding the beautiful day in the journey of World Peace Summit 2023. 15th day, a remarkable day with a mix of feelings, emotions, and so much of drama and all what we call, we think that we have these 2.5 hours because we are talking about living beings, our lives, animal lives. So it's a journey, a beautiful journey with mixed feelings, emotional, sometimes sad, sometimes compassion. So with all these feelings, really, let's conclude this day. And with jollier and vigorating new energy, let's welcome one more day, World Peace Summit, 16th day tomorrow. For that, let us all prepare. And I